Has scored again. Belgium on another pitch, holding the U.S. to within snitch range at 13 minutes of play. And Australia has responded finally. The score now 70-40. Australia.
Alright, no idea if people can hear me, but it says that I should be getting sound, so let's see. I'm not actually watching the game right now because I'm trying to get this set up. Alright, okay, hello everybody. I am streaming and I apologize because I guarantee you I am going to be doing stuff on Facebook all the time. But I have also muted the commentary because I can't deal with it. Okay, apparently the stream of the stream is working, and that's fantastic. We have a stoppage of play. So far, this has been pretty boring. And for everyone who said, hey, the U.S. is being held in snitch range by Belgium, it's now 90-40 to the U.S. Still a good result for Belgium, though. I apologize every time it's not actually maximized. It means I'm doing something outside of the scope of watching this in full window. I am, as they say, a streaming noob, and I somehow only have one monitor. Evan, that sounds good. I have no idea how desynced it might actually be, though. Anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I am a hate-powered organism, which means you will probably not hear the word beautiful from me the entire night. I also am probably going to go to bed at some point. And I will probably take a crap on people's play because nothing gets under my skin quite like tactics being really shitty. And thus far, both teams are kind of driving me crazy with their tactics, particularly in their inability to manage possession of the ball whatsoever. We're seeing a lot of people who are just like trying to run straight at beaters and make plays, or people who are saying, oh, I have a kind of fast break, and just giving up 5-second possessions that don't end up in anything. And I mean, to be fair, like, credit to these teams for actually being willing to be physical. I have no idea how that got called a goal, because it looked to me like the ball was in his hand the entire time, and then he threw it like 5 feet over the tallest hoop. I also am not going to be able to hear goal whistles because I have this muted. So I'm going to trust the scoreboard to update itself. But it does say 60-50 right now. Okay, 60-60, and it's called good. The snitch just got released in USA Belgium with US up 50. I can imagine this getting out of hand really quickly at this point. Although, obviously, how that game goes depends on, or how that game is going depends a lot on this. One thing I've always actually liked about Australian beaters, and this goes as far back as they go, is you'll see lots of activity, lots of them like chasing people down. One common mistake a lot of beaters make is that they just sort of say like, "Oh, I kind of have a throw on this person," and they'll make a throw, and sometimes they'll hit it, and they'll be like, "Oh, I did a good thing," and you know what? It's a good thing to make those beats, but what an elite player really should be doing is looking to maximize their opportunities at every chance. And a lot of that with beaters involves making plays with your legs, which is why we've seen speed become such an important factor in beaters for people like Kyle Gian or Max Havlin and things like that. Yeah, anyway, Luke Derrick's a good beater. We played UCID back in World Cup 7, and I mean, we beat them pretty handily, but they were a pretty new team there. But it was pretty clear, like, their beaters were actually pretty alright. Anyway, I'd imagine the stream at this point is going to focus mostly on the Snitch game instead of the actual Quaffle game. And I, too, am going to focus on the Snitch game, although I'm a little interested in how the tactics end up working out. It looks like both teams are choosing to basically concentrate all of their focus on the Snitch, which is a completely valid and reasonable thing to do in a tie game. That was probably a tactical mistake by the Australian beater that could have cost them the game. In this sort of situation, in most cases, the Seeker is a higher beat priority target than the beaters themselves. And it looks like Luke is running around here doing his best to make sure, hey, we need to get bludgeon control. And don't get me wrong, bludgeon control, super important here. That could have been gamer really easily. Bludgeon control is super duper important here, but at some point you have to be very, very careful that you don't give up the game. Also, while I was talking about this, Australia scored another goal to make it 70-60. They've obviously started to round into form during this game, but this slow start gives them a chance of being cost, especially because this Snitch keeps getting almost grabbed by the French Seeker. If you watch the French Seeker's hands, like, for lack of a better term, his hand is very firmly on the ass cheek of the Snitch, and if he moves over a, like, tiny bit, it would be the game. On the other pitch, U.S. has won 130-50 over Belgium. Apparently, Ethan seems to be salty about contact from behind goals. Okay, actually, I'm going to veer off because I think we can have a tactical discussion here. For those of you who have or haven't read my articles, one of the things I'm very, very big on is teams understanding how they're going to win a game. And deeply embedded in that is the ability for these teams to know what a win looks like. Like, France realistically probably didn't come to this game saying, if we're going to win this game, we're probably going to push them out of snitch range. It was probably much more along the lines of, and I think we may have a catch that's going to get maybe waved off. Guy's nodding. Obviously, that means a lot without any sound. But anyway, so Australia is now at the 20-point mark, which is a very interesting thing because goals in Quidditch are worth 10 points, but in terms of their effects on the game, they're not all worth the same. This seems obvious. A goal that takes you from up 30 to up 40 versus a goal that takes you from up 220 to up 230. Not nearly the same thing, not nearly as important. And I would argue that the two most important goals that you can get are the ones that take you from up 20 to up 30 and the ones that take you from up 30 to up 40. With the giant bonus being that if you are out of snitch range, you get a lovely, okay, that's getting called good, and Australia wins. Which kind of derails my point, and it's kind of sad that we missed the catch, although France looks upset about it, which, not gonna lie, given what I've seen from the French team before, not really surprised. But anyway, just to finish off my point, what I was going to say is that a lot of teams, when the game is